This is the skull of a child who died about 2.8 million years ago in what is now South Africa. For decades, nobody could explain the damage to it. The punctures around the eye sockets, the scratches on the bone. Then someone compared them to what an eagle leaves behind when it eats a monkey. The child didn't die of disease, it was carried off. And for most of our story, that was not unusual. We like to imagine our ancestors as hunters. For 2 million years, we were also food. Start with the cave. In the 1970s, a South African researcher named C.K. Brain was looking at bones from a place called Swartkrans. Thousands of them. Antelope, baboons, and early humans. At the time, the popular story was that our ancestors dragged those animals in and ate them. The killer ate. The naked hunter. Brain looked closer, and he found a skull with 2 neat holes in the back of it. He picked up the lower jaw of a leopard. The canines fit. The bones weren't a human garbage dump, they were a leopard's. His book had a title that says the whole thing, The Hunters or the Hunted. And the answer, for a very long stretch of our past, was hunted. The Africa our ancestors walked through was not the Africa on a nature documentary. It was worse. Everything alive today, lions, leopards, spotted hyenas, cheetahs, wild dogs, was already there. On top of that, there were sabre-toothed cats. There was Dinophilus, built for ambush, roughly leopard-shaped but heavier. There were hyenas the size of a small lion, strong enough to carry a whole carcass. There was even a crocodile at Olduvai Gorge that researchers named for what they kept finding in association with it. The name translates more or less as man-eater. And we were not built for this. No claws, no armor, no speed worth mentioning. A lion covers 100 meters in about 6 seconds. A very fast human needs nearly 10. Watch what predation does to primates that live like this today. Baboon troops can lose a noticeable share of their group every year to leopards alone. Scale that up over 2 million years and one thing becomes obvious. Something had to change, or there would be nobody here to make this video. 3 things changed. None of them made us stronger. A lone human on that landscape is a meal. 20 humans are a problem. Predators do arithmetic. Not consciously. But every attack is a bet. And a bet that ends in a broken jaw doesn't pay. Baboons mob leopards. Chimpanzees mob snakes and scream until the whole forest knows where the danger is. Our ancestors took that further because they could hold things. A mob that throws rocks isn't just loud, it's expensive. This is the part people skip. Our first real defense wasn't a weapon or a brain, it was each other. Now look at the shoulder. A chimpanzee is far stronger than you and can barely throw. The anatomy is wrong. The shoulder is built for hanging in trees. Somewhere around the time of Homo erectus, ours changed. A lower, more open shoulder joint. A tall, flexible waist. Together they let the shoulder store elastic energy like a slingshot and release it. Researchers who studied this call it one of the most powerful movements the human body produces. We became the only animal that can hurt something at 20 meters, and then it got worse for the predators. In a coal mine in Schöningen, Germany, archaeologists pulled wooden spears out of the ground, about 300,000 years old. Balanced, worked, made to be thrown. In South Africa, stone points that appear to have been hafted onto shafts push a version of that idea back to roughly 500,000 years. An ambush predator works because the first second decides everything. Against a group that can strike before the first second, ambush stops working. Predators own the dark. Cats see in it. We don't. Fire took the dark away from them. The evidence is argued over, and burnt bone and ash from Wonderford Cave in South Africa suggests something was burning 1 million years ago. Controlled, habitual fire is easier to demonstrate from roughly 400,000 years on, but the effect is not argued over. A fire means light, a boundary most animals won't cross, and a reason to stay in one place through the night while somebody keeps watch. There's a second effect nobody notices. We sweat. We lost most of our fur and gained millions of sweat glands, and that combination lets us move through the middle of the day in open heat when almost every big predator is lying in shade doing nothing. We didn't beat them for the same hours. We took different hours. Here's where it turns. Look at the fossil record of large African carnivores over the last few million years and the diversity goes down. The saber-tooths thin out, the giant hyenas go. Whole guilds of big meat eaters disappear. One explanation researchers have offered is eves, hominins moving into the same job, taking carcasses, competing for the same meat. Climate is in the picture too, and honest people disagree about the weighting. But the timing is uncomfortable. Something in that period stopped being prey and started being competition. And the predators updated. A lion today on open ground will usually leave when a person walks toward it. That is not instinct handed down from nature. It's learned over a very long time by lions whose relatives tried the other thing. We are one of the very few prey animals on Earth that made itself not worth eating. So the answer to how we survived isn't a weapon, and it isn't our brains in the abstract. We survived because we stood together, because we learned to reach across distance, and because we took the night. Everything else we built, the villages, the cities, all of it, is that same loop, running a little longer each time. Next time, the animal we were most afraid of wasn't a cat. It was us. Subscribe, and we'll keep going back.